Well, hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Paul, and I'm joined by my constant companion,
Oh, Thomas.
Death. No.
Loneliness.
We are about to dive into. Is it the fourth episode? Is it fourth episode of the season?
Yeah, episode
this,
4.
This is
yeah.
the halfway point, Thomas, isn't it? Because there's only 8 episodes, I believe. So we're going to get into this in a moment. Yeah. So this is 73 yards. The next one in the season. Thomas, you've not seen this.
No, I haven't yet, actually. So,
But I have. So
you've got the whole 9 yards.
I've gone the whole 73 yards.
Yeah, sorry.
That's how committed I've been to this. Great, guys. Do, of course, as always, give a like to the video and subscribe to the channel. That's always really helpful. And chuck your comments down below. Let us know what you're thinking of this stuff as we go. So, yeah, should we dive in, Thomas?
Let's do it.
Lovely visuals already. Very happy with that.
Yes.
Love a location. Well, here's my one gripe about the season so far. Or not my one gripe, but here's a gripe. A while ago, before the season started, they released a picture of Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor and his costume.
Yes.
But he barely wears it, and I don't like it. I want the Doctor to be wearing his outfit. I mean, this just looks... I mean, he looks ridiculous anyway. Like, what's he work on? Is he a trawlerman? What's he do? Work on a fishing boat? Like,
it does look like a caricature of like a Cornish fisherman or something.
I know, yeah. I think it might be a little bit racist towards the Cornish, actually.
Because they're in Wales.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was going to be another landmine there.
Yeah.
Oh, sugar, not again.
This is Boom 2.
What is
Boom, shake, shake, shake the room.
Are those toilet rolls?
It did look a bit like toilet rolls, didn't it?
This is a bit like the Wicker Man or something.
Well, keep watching.
Oh, I'm intrigued. So this is RTD, but from the trailer it looked like slightly more serious RTD, so I'm excited.
I hope you're not having a pee around the back.
It'd be funny if he was.
Is that Susan again?
No.
That is striking landscape, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful.
Makes you realise we've got some good shores, haven't we, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. We sure do.
Everywhere's a beach eventually.
This landscape reminds me a bit of The Abominable Snowman.
Oh, interesting.
You remember that one in Tibet?
Yes.
Or Wales, but you know.
Oh, is this snow?
It is. This is Susan Twist again, Thomas.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
I don't think so. Have you?
Well, she just said, have I met you before?
We haven't seen any sign of Miss Flood so far, have we? That's a different...
Mrs. Flood, no, not yet.
Flood. Yeah.
I think this has a really strong, creepy vibe to it.
Yeah, because you have no idea what's really going on. You're just sort of standing there.
Yeah, it feels like a horror film.
It does, doesn't it?
Which I really like.
Yeah. I
I mean,
it's...
this is proper, like, supernatural ghostly, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of doubly scary for me because I've been to so many places like this on holiday and stuff.
Yeah.
Of rural Wales and Cornwall and stuff.
I mean, I've been in a pub just like this, literally where we walked in, everybody stopped talking and turned and looked at us.
Yeah.
Like, we actually left because no one came to serve us at the bar.
Did the bartender look at you and go, Han Solo?
Yes, you can pay with you fawn.
She's got a kind of American Werewolf in London feel, hasn't it, as well?
Yes.
In the local pub type thing. The slaughtered lamb.
Yeah.
He ran away like the devil was on his bum. What'd she say to me?
Run like the devil's on your bum.
Oh, don't.
I love the camera work in this.
He would kill me. I'm the one he'd kill first, and you know I don't.
Like, right up on the face.
I don't think their TripAdvisor review is going to be great, is it?
That's true. Yeah, I love how the camera, like, we haven't really seen that woman clearly.
Yeah.
She has kept her distance from the camera. Yeah.
It's good, like having the figure just over her shoulder, you know, in the distance there.
Yeah. Oh, I like that tree as well.
You
Mm.
win.
Bent in the wind.
Mm. Wow, that is exactly what the train is like.
Yeah.
Probably done it on an actual train.
Yeah, this is great. I really love this.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, that figure is there.
Maybe the doctor went inside his box and... That's what men do. They go into their sheds and they potter. They have train sets and hobbies and things women should never know about. I mean, I don't know. I've never had a garden.
If you join our Patreon, we will tell you about the things that women should never know about. We'll shed light on these dark secrets.
Shed light. One of them is how to stack the dishwasher.
Hello?
Why is she saying hello before the phone rings?
And you can hear what
Having a nice time?
Oh,
Here we go,
there's
Mrs. Flood. It's really good, isn't it? This figure in the distance who you never really see and is always there, always moving with you, and whenever people talk to them, they flee in terror. Like,
Yeah,
very creepy, isn't it?
it is.
It has, like I said, it is the feel of a horror film, isn't it?
Yeah,
Woman, Mum, phone me back.
it's very good.
Just tell me what she said. Just talk.
I almost wish this had been the opening episode of the series. Be a bold move, wouldn't it? The Doctor's actually not in it.
Yeah, I mean, that is a strange thing about this story. It's strange to have a Doctor Light episode in a season with only 8 episodes.
Yeah,
It feels to me, at least.
it's given Ruby a lot of work. This,
Yeah, which again is good, because I think we need to see some heavy lifting from the actors
Yeah.
rather than space babies.
Space babies.
Granny, you in there?
It's the fact that he kept saying, space babies.
Space babies.
Hands, face, space babies. So it's sort of turning people against her.
Bit more snow. Is that snow? Yeah, a little bit of snow.
Yeah, it must be. It's dandruff.
Wasn't he the companion to Jodie Whittaker's actor?
Daniel.
Daniel Drop. Scouser, wasn't he?
Dan.
I take it that's
Oh.
Is that right?
They haven't met yet, have they?
I'm Kate Lethbridge Stewart, and I...
No, I don't think so.
She's put an injunction out against me, my own mother. I thought about going back to Manchester, but I don't want to leave, you know, just in case. And I've got this rubbish job at Kleinemann's to make ends meet.
Well, I think we can help with that. We have a tradition of helping the Doctor's former companions once they return to a normal life.
No, I was hardly with him, really.
But it felt like a lifetime.
Yeah.
Well, we're the Unified Intelligence Task Force created to investigate the extraterrestrial and more the supernatural. Things seem to be turning that way these days.
And you work with the
Interesting.
Doctor?
With him,
Because we've talked, haven't we, about this idea of
and I adore him.
the more supernatural breaking into the universe.
Yeah.
You know, the
I won't say a word, but I wish you...
the fourth wall breaks and the song and dance routines, the slightly more unusual things that aren't part of reality.
Yeah, it feels like RTD is pushing this quite a lot, which is why it's interesting that Moffat episode, which is like, nope, faith, yeah, ridiculous. Supernatural, no.
And you can take a
It all has a kind of material explanation.
I'm actually
Yeah.
surprised no one's... It's 73 yards.
But if you went on a plane...
We actually use metric units now,
I
Ruby.
don't.
Yeah.
If I cut her off...
Maybe this is a sign of the universe being broken.
Yes.
People who use yards.
23 yards, 219 feet, 66.7 meters.
There you go. 67.7 metres. It wouldn't have been quite the same if they called the episode 66.7 metres.
Yeah.
We're in.
This is quite
40.
interesting.
Thing is,
The montage.
I've had a tough time. That
whole thing with your mother is.
She can tell she's 40 now because she wears glasses. That's
Oh yeah.
that's the way. She
All
definitely looks
40-year-old
40 now.
women wear glasses.
Yeah.
An absolute shame, Amal. Now's the time to vote. You know, for Britain to find its voice, to find its pride, its future.
Yes, but
It is a mole, isn't it?
that if people are worried about anything, it's the
Yes.
living.
And that's what I am saying. No more. I want Great
No
Britain
more.
to
Very
no more. So, yes,
John Hurt.
I have
Ah,
pledged to
yes.
defend our
See again, this is that thing about lines being dropped in from previous stories, like
We're members of NATO.
little
Gallifrey
references.
fools no more.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, because I noticed that first time and went, oh, that's interesting, but
When the Great Russian War-
coincidence maybe.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh, he is a monster.
I think this is really well done because even in the very small amount of screen time he's had,
Yeah.
you truly, I feel, you truly believe he comes across as someone who could be an absolute monster.
Yeah.
You know, a real despot.
Yeah.
Like that stuff about that with that girl Marty, and then her just saying that. They don't have to say a lot. It's very economic with its dialogue and stuff, but you instantly kind of get the sense of what kind of character he is, don't you?
Yeah. That's a really good point, actually.
That's an order! I said stay where you are! 70 yards. I said stay where you are! 72 Final warning! Stay where you are!
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Whoa. This is very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite weird, but I like it.
Yeah. I like that idea of the TARDIS having sort of grown all this stuff on it. It's been there so long.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Wasn't there a line in Wild Blue Yonder about the TARDIS just sitting on a coastline and getting all overgrown?
Yeah, maybe there was actually. Reminds me of the Woman in Black a bit.
Yes.
It's got that kind of feel to it. It's really there, just super creepy.
Yeah. Oh, it's her.
Where?
There was a woman.
Well, she's not there anymore.
But there was a woman. She was just standing there. Maybe she was looking for someone?
All right, Ruby. All right.
Oh, no, don't step.
Oh. I almost broke that. Careful. Oh, honey, what a beautiful thing.
What is it?
It's a fairy circle. Man, that's so delicate. Just charms and spells and hopes and dreams. It's here at the end of the land.
Well, yeah, what do they say?
No, but no. Just give them their respect, Ruby. Let them rest in peace. Like your mysterious woman.
Oh, she was there.
And we are here. So, what was the third time that you've been to Wales? You said you've been 3 times? What was the other one?
Oh, no, I don't know. When was it? I can't think. I suppose must have been now.
It's a glorious day in fine time. There are creatures
Now this looks very Black Mirror.
Yeah.
monsters and they are coming to get you.
Just look at my close friends. Look how many are missing. Oh, it's me. They're coming for me.
Wow.
So what do you make of that? Because obviously that's your first time. That's my rewatch.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very unusual kind of, well, very different to Russell T Davies' first 2 episodes of this series. Yeah, it was very creepy, wasn't it? It had that sort of Wicker Man, It Follows type feel. Woman in Black, as you said. Yeah, so what happened at the end there? She realised it was her and then warned her younger self not to step in it. and it was all good.
Well, yeah, I mean this is
Kind of a mystery, isn't it?
Well, this is my thing, yeah. So coming away at the end of it, so up until that point where we discover who that woman is, I think the episode is really, really strong.
Yeah,
because it's really mysterious. I think it gives Millie Gibson loads of work to do. I think she does really well in this. I think she's great. It's really creepy. You know, you've got the people talking to this figure who you can't see even through a camera, and then they flee in terror, and you know, even her mum and stuff, and the whole of unit and stuff like that. Yeah, but as you get to the end there, I kind of came away thinking like, well, how does she become that woman?
Yeah.
Like, is she a ghost? Is she dead? Has she died at the end of old age and then she's become this? But then how is she able still to go back?
Yeah.
You know, what powers does she have that allow her to do that? And we don't really get explained, like, why is she doing this the whole time?
Yeah.
You know, there's no explanation to that, and there's no explanation as to what was she saying to people that made them so fearful that they would flee and run away, and why 73 yards?
Yeah, which I kind of like, because it's, in a sense, if you actually heard what she was saying to those people, it would probably be disappointing, but it makes it scarier that whatever she said, it completely like changed them.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think having the mystery of that, like what she says is one thing, but I think I came away at from that very end bit going like, oh well,
yeah.
Like I wasn't quite sure why. I still couldn't understand why would she become this figure who was there the whole time through her life. I mean, it just feels like it doesn't quite all fit together at the end for me.
Is the point that circle, whatever it is actually the power? Some spell has been cast, and
I think it must
enables. Be. Yeah.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Because I was just thinking then at the end, as we had the Doctor saying, like, you know, best not, you know, charms and stuff. You cannot imagine any other Doctor, like any other season of Doctor Who, would have given a rational explanation for these things.
Yeah.
Whereas this has very much left it as, you know, and they teased it earlier, didn't they, with like in the pub about witchcraft and, you know, and stuff like that. But they obviously made a joke of it, saying like, oh, they were all having her on. But then Kate Lethbridge-Stewart talks about the supernatural, and it feels like the show is leaning more into that. And maybe it's part of the toy makers thing, the one who waits, these supernatural beings who are coming into the universe because the Doctor invoked something with the salt and all that in Wild Blue Yonder, and maybe it all ties together with that. Because in previous eras of Doctor Who, they would have very much gone to great lengths to show that those kind of things were really just a load of hokum and there was a rational explanation. But it doesn't feel like we're getting that in this era at the moment. So I wonder if it's all playing into that.
Yeah. So is it? It's very interesting, isn't it? So that, because what did it say on the piece of paper in the circle? It was something about the Gwillem, wasn't it?
Rest in peace, Mad Jack, didn't it? Like that one. But somehow because again, I've seen people talk about it saying like, well, what happens then if Ruby doesn't now go on to live the life she lived that we saw in that episode? What happens to Mad Jack, like when he becomes Prime Minister? People are saying, oh no, he's not released, you know, because he's still contained by the circle, which is an interesting thing, isn't it? Like, again, there's a very much a magical, supernatural element to that kind of idea.
Yeah.
I still don't know where the Doctor went.
Yeah.
Like, where did he really go? Like, why he disappears. Again, there's a mystery to it, isn't explained. And some people have suggested maybe the show will circle round to this again by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because we've got Susan Twist again. We've got the hiker.
Interesting. Yeah.
We've got all these elements like the supernatural type things, lots of things through different episodes that died in. Even these things, like I said, about where it feels like they're just referencing lines from old episodes, which feels unusual. And
we have Mrs. Flood again as well.
Yeah, very brief kind of thing there. Nothing didn't really give us anything to go on there, did it? Though nothing.
Yeah.
just to teased her again, I suppose. So it's interesting to know where that goes. If it's even for this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a longer sort of game that Rusty Davis has in mind, that not everything will be resolved.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I enjoyed it though as an episode.
Yeah.
Like, on the
It was
whole,
quite
even though
gripping. I was like, where is this going to go?
yeah, even though it left me with questions at the end and feeling like it hadn't quite. I wasn't sure I quite got all like how it all held together in the end. I still enjoyed it for the large majority of it, and I think and I think with a number of things like we said about some of those previous stories, we'll wait to see how it unfolds by the end of the season, because it may be that things make sense in the grand scheme of the season. So I'm happy to sort of wait for that.
Yeah.
And see where it goes. I don't know if anyone else had thought do you remember back in the Capaldi era there was the story, I think it was called like Under the Lake and Before the Flood, the two-parter?
Oh yeah.
Where there were sort of ghosts in that and stuff. But there's a line in that where, in the second episode, I think, where he's with there's the woman who knows who the Doctor is. She's a fan of his, from Unit and stuff. And she says, and she references all these things he's done. And then she says, the Minister of War. And he goes, what? And she's like, oh, maybe that hasn't happened. He always says, like, maybe that hasn't happened yet. And I did wonder whether this guy here was a reference to that, the Minister of War, because I've always thought that was something that Moffat never picked up in the rest of his era. Because I'd wondered at the time if it was like a Mr. Saxon thing where they were seeding ideas, but maybe it never came to fruition. And I did wonder whether like Roger Ap Gwilliam was supposed to be this Minister of War. And again, I don't know whether we'll see more of him, whether that will come back round in some way. I don't know. Or whether this is just a standalone episode. I mean, until the season ends, I don't know if I can make a full judgment on whether some of these things really all tie up. But
no, it was quite a baffling episode. But they're trying a lot with this series, aren't they? Feels like we've moved on from Space Babies a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so. It just makes you think though, like when you've got stories like Boom and you've got stories like this, even The Devil's Chord to an extent, you kind of think, well, how on earth did Space Babies even get in there? Like, and why?
Space Babies.
It's it's a completely different type of thing. But I think and it seems an odd choice to me as well to not have the Doctor in that particularly.
Yeah.
In such a short season.
I mean, it made it scarier in some ways, didn't it? Because she was left to fend for herself. But yeah, so it's a bold choice to have an episode of 8 that barely has the Doctor in it.
Yeah. But I think Millie Gibson's...
Doctor Who.
Yeah. I think Millie Gibson's very, very good in that episode. Again, she's got more to do. She has to sort of carry it because it's basically a sort of piece for her, really, on the whole.
Yeah. I wasn't so convinced by the 40-year-old.
No, they've made very minimal efforts to really age her.
Put some glasses on.
Yeah.
But the elderly version was obviously a different actor, wasn't it? So
yes, yeah.
They didn't do that with prosthetics.
No. But so it's an intriguing episode. It's I've enjoyed it, and I'm intrigued to see where it leads in the scheme of the season. And I'm feeling more confident. I mean, next week's. I don't know what I'm thinking of what next week's looks like. I mean, it could, like I said, it looks a bit Black Mirror-esque. Yeah. But it could also be a bit naff looking as well. I don't know, but maybe that's. But it could have a strange. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's interesting. I was thinking about the other day, thinking about this season the other day, about what you make of a season as you're going through it.
Right. Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of Toby Haydock's stuff when he does his old Doctor Who, And he talks about how like stuff in the 80s, like he grew up sort of watching sort of, you know, the end of the Tom Baker era into the 80s when he was young and then as a teenager. And there's lots of stuff that when he goes back and revisits it, he finds he enjoys it more than when he first watched it. And the reason he gives is that because he loved the show so much at the time, whenever Doctor Who wasn't very good,
right,
like as there are some patches in the 80s where it's on sort of quite shaky territory, at the time that it was happening, his concern was always like, oh, the show's going to get cancelled, you know, and it's going to become a bit of a laughing stock and an embarrassment and stuff and things like that. But now, obviously, he knows the show it carries on.
Yeah.
So he can now enjoy it just for what it is, rather than worrying about the decline of the quality of the show or something.
Interesting.
And I wondered that about, you know, when we come to sort of, you know, I'm thinking about things like Space Babies and, you know, kind of some of this, where you're looking at some of this new era and kind of going, ooh, I don't quite know what to make of some of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I wonder what it would be like when we get to the Chibnall era again. Like, because in the Chibnall era, I was just like, this is atrocious. It's become a laughing stock. The show's so bad. But whether some time, again, I'm just thinking here about whether as we move away from this, when we're able to look back on it, will we see some of this as much stronger than perhaps it appears at the moment? I'm not saying this episode in particular, but just this. There's a lot of people, some people have already checked out of the show,
yeah,
because they're like, it's just silly, space babies and dancing and, you know, goblins singing and, you know, the Doctor's doing a musical number in 2 episodes, and I get that,
yeah,
but I wonder whether allowing time to pass, first of all, we'll get the grand scheme of the whole season that may put this all in context, but then also as the show hopefully continues, because they have filmed the next season already, I believe, I think just yesterday or a couple of days ago they wrapped filming. You can enjoy it more when you don't feel like the show is slightly hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
You know, I think particularly when Ncuti's first came back into it, or when maybe the 60th anniversary specials, you really felt like the show was hanging in the balance because the Chibnall era had been so underwhelming.
Yeah.
Which is why it almost, I don't know, maybe it's brave of Russell T Davies to do something which could potentially switch a lot of people off.
Yeah. He's being more experimental than he's probably ever been before, hasn't he?
Yeah, potentially. But that I guess that's what remains to be seen. Hopefully this is an experimental thing that will come good.
Yeah. It'd be nice if the finale had a moment that was like, oh my goodness, that all like fits together. Or a good payoff would be nice, I think. Even if it's not all explained at the end of this season, I think it might get some people back on board if it was like, oh, this was all foreshadowed, and yeah.
There was a plan behind this. It isn't, you know, there was a reason that we had things like fourth wall breaks and references to all these episodes, and also songs and dances and magic and stuff, which is unusual for the show. So here's hoping. But I feel like that's not a comment really on this episode in particular. I think, you know, I've enjoyed it. It's been a strong one.
Gial.
Good one, babes. I mean, I'll take that over fam any day.
That's true. Fam Gial.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to, I think, what is a good mark of the season, at least, is that I'm now at a point where I'm at least looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah.
Whereas I think after the first 2 episodes, I was a little bit still apprehensive, going, oh gosh, I'm not sure where this is going. I feel with Boom and this episode have been a lot stronger. And there's the hope that these things are seeding a bigger picture. I mean, there's definitely a seeding of a bigger picture with Susan Twist and Mrs. Flood. So there's already something there. The snow, Ruby's snow, we've not really mentioned that much, have we? But all these things there's groundwork being laid for a big payoff. And that's what I like about Doctor Who since it came back in the modern era, so to speak, is that the show does generally aim towards a payoff at the end of the season if you've stuck with it and you've picked up on the stuff that's gone on, as well as enjoyed individual stories along the way. So I hope that's what we'll get.
Yeah, a grand finale.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think from what I've heard, it's going to be a big one, partly because Ruby's obviously going to leave somehow. So is she going to die? What's going to happen? So a lot will probably happen in that episode.
I did wonder whether that was being foreshadowed in the at the end of Boom, actually, when the Doctor was saying, like, we're all dead in the end, you know.
Yeah.
We're only alive, you know, we're only alive for a very short period of time. Most of the time we're dead, all that kind of stuff.
You could say we're like breath in a mirror.
On a mirror.
Any moment now.
Yeah, he's a coming.
Who's coming? The Doctor.
So yeah, I'd be interested to see whether that's where it goes.
Yeah.
So let us know, though, people. Let us know what you thought of this. If you've got any answers to the questions we've had there about it, particularly that ending where we've been a little bit uncertain whether some of it made sense or not. Maybe you've noticed more than we have, which is that would be good. Just let us know and let us know your thoughts. Let us know as well your thoughts on where the season is going. Is this all part of an overarching thing that's leading somewhere, or are we barking up the wrong tree? Have we missed something? What do you think Susan Twist is all about? What do you think Mrs. Flood is all about? Yeah, and we'll see. And if you want to chat more about that, come and join us on our Discord server, which you can find the link for in the description of these videos. It's a free to join server. It's just a place where we chat Doctor Who, new stuff, old stuff, and everything in between. So come and join us there for a bit of chat, and we can put the world to rights about Doctor Who.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
See ya.